Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a little dragon who couldn't breathe fire. His name was Nilo and he lived with his family in a cave high up in the mountains. All of the dragons in his family could breathe fire except for Nilo. He just breathed out smoke. Puff, puff, it went, and the smoke smelled like burnt toast. Now, every year the dragons had a competition to see who could breathe the biggest, best fire. All of the dragons would line up and breathe out huge bursts of flame. Then the judges would decide who won. For 3 years in a row, Nilo had come in last place. And every time he heard the other dragons laughing and making fun of him, he felt terrible. "You're just a big, fat zero, Nilo," they would say. "You are so weak. You can't even burn a marshmallow." So Nilo stopped trying and just watched the other dragons. Maybe one day he would be strong enough to breathe fire, but until then, he was just a dragon who couldn't do anything. One day, a terrible rainstorm came and it washed away all of the vegetables the dragons had planted in their garden. The carrots were floating away in the river. The cabbages were wilted and the tomatoes were drying up in the sun. All of the plants were too weak to make any food. The dragons were worried because without any vegetables, they would have nothing to eat. As the days passed, the plants got weaker and weaker. They started to turn brown and they began to die. Then Nilo had an idea. He flew up to the sky and breathed out a big, warm green glow. At first, nothing happened, but after a few minutes, the plants began to stir. Their leaves turned green again and they started to grow. Before long, the whole garden was back in full bloom. All of the dragons were amazed. "How did you do it, Nilo?" they asked. "I don't know," said Nilo. "I just breathed out a warm green glow and then I felt better." From that day on, the other dragons stopped making fun of Nilo. They realized that even though he couldn't breathe fire, he had a special gift. He could heal the sick and bring new life to the dying. Nilo was very happy. He learned that even if you can't do what everyone else does, you're still valuable. You just have to find your own special way to shine. The end.